another episode of Gadgets and Gizmos. My name is Gaurav Preti and the winters are upon us. Time to take out your sweater jackets and in my case, cap. In fact, my colleague Rohit has already started knitting. Now, Sony smartphones, I really like them, because they have their own design philosophy, their displays are great, everybody uses their camera sensor and also they're waterproof. But somehow they've just not been able to cut it, man. Is it because of the price? Here is Bahubali Sahil with the new Sony Xperia Z5.
Thanks, Gaurav. Tech giants have to sometimes wake up and smell the coffee. Sony is a classic example. As fate would have it, it wasn't because it was making bad phones, apart from the abysmal Z3 Plus which it launched earlier this year. It was more due to poor business decisions and partially also being late to the mobile phone party. With its latest Xperia smartphones, the Z5 and the Z5 Premium, it's trying to right the wrong it committed earlier this year with the Z3 Plus and also perhaps trying to trigger a mini revival of its smartphone business. Oh, by the way, there's a lot to like about these two Xperia smartphones. First of all, they come in different sizes. This is the smaller 5.2-inch Xperia Z5 and this is the Z5 Premium which has a massive 5.5-inch screen and more uniquely, it has this mirror finish. On this one, you get a really nice matte finish which feels really good in your hands and overall both the phones are relatively compact and easy to hold. The performance is also really good. You get a fast 8-core processors, 3 GB of RAM and 32 GB of memory. So basically no stutters, no lag. Gaming is going to be nice. Phones also don't get too warm, which is really nice. On the back, both phones get really good 23 megapixel cameras and they're some of the best cameras you'll find on an Android smartphone right now. So daylight or nighttime, these phones are going to take really good photos. And on the front too, they have got 5 megapixel cameras which are pretty good at taking selfies. Battery life is also pretty good on both the phones. So both phones more or less last through a day, which is pretty much standard issue. It's not amazing, but it's good enough for most people. While there's a lot to like about these phones, all is not well with both of them. For starters, you'll probably need to shell out a kidney for either of these phones. The Z5 will set you back by around 50,000 rupees and the Z5 Premium will set you back by around 59,000 rupees. Coming back to the displays out here, especially on the Z5 Premium, the 4K thing only works when you're playing 4K video. And as we know, there aren't a lot of 4K videos out there. This basically turns into a pretty standard display when you're not watching 4K videos. Same holds true for the Z5, which has a pretty standard 1080p resolution. So this basically means the Galaxy S6 and Note 5 have better displays. And the story continues with the cameras, because while these are good cameras, the Galaxy S6, Note 5 and even the new Nexus smartphones have better cameras than both these bad boys. Also, as you can see, this mirror finish out here is kind of a smudge magnet. There can be only two reasons for anyone to buy these smartphones. First of all, if you just want to stare at your face. Even for that, you need to sort of clean it with this and then sort of gently wipe it and hope it's clean, which it's not. Or if you're the type of person who wants to dunk it into water like this, because these two phones are probably the only phones in the market with flagship features that also offer water resistance. Adding to the woes, there is a wonky fingerprint scanner which is really inconsistent. Basically, this means the Galaxy S6 and the Note 5 are superior phones. In the case of the S6, it's also cheaper. Overall, I can just tell you this much, that Sony hasn't woken up and smelled the coffee.
Micromax, they make smartphone, they make tablets, they also make something called laptop, they also make television, and now they are out with their laptop. It's called the Lapbook. What's next? Electric car? No. it isn't very difficult to review a product like the laptop. Your initial impressions begin at the appearance. It's a functional, serviceable design with all the ports you would be accustomed to on a laptop present and accounted for. The build is plastic and somewhat dicey. Merely pressing down on the material causes it to bend under the force of your proverbial finger as it hunches and disappears with the press of a mere touch. The keyboard is cramped, and from our time with it, we ended up making more mistakes than getting anything useful done. Trackpad, thanks to the rather small size of the thing, always gets in the way, causing you to jump mid-word to previous sentence. The keys are cramped and offer little to no feedback, often causing you to do a double take when you type. The inside feature an Intel Atom processor with 2 GB of RAM and 32 GB of internal storage. Needless to say, this is not going to be for people who are power users, or even for people who don't want to see a web page continuously refresh when you scroll up and down, or a video to stutter when you play it. The screen, even at full brightness, is rather dim, and there is no viewing angles here to speak of. So who is this device for? Well, here's where Micromax makes a compelling argument. It's the one thing that they got absolutely spot on about this device. The one thing that will make this entire review seem redundant.
सही है यार, ये लैपटॉप है क्या? नया है मार्केट में?
हाँ, it's from Micromax.
यार ये कितने का है?
13,999.
क्या? 13,999? यार बड़ा सही चीज़ है ये तो. इतने तो फ़ोन भी नहीं आते, ये तो लैपटॉप दे दिया.
Okay, good. So there you have it. Seriously, we can't complain about that. The day is not far away when every Indian would have a Chinese smartphone in their hand, and I say why not? Because they make some great looking smartphones. They offer you the best of processing power at an affordable price, and that's all we care for. So Meizu is here. It's another Chinese company with their latest offering, Meizu MX5. Now, what do we want from a smartphone? We want our smartphone to look like an iPhone, we want it to work like an iPhone, and we want to pay the price of an Android phone. And that's exactly what all these Chinese companies have done. And we have the Meizu MX5 with us. Just look at the design. It has taken inspiration from the best of the smartphones that you like, and it offers you some great specs, and it costs only 19,999 rupees. Believe me, it's a fantastic price for the phone and the feature that you get in this phone. Take a look at it. The Meizu MX5 is the successor to the MX4, and we really like the metal unibody design. It's smooth and a little slippery, but then these days you get these really cool covers. The 5.5-inch Full HD Super AMOLED display looks bright like always. You get good contrast and deep blacks. The only problem is the reflective screen. The touch response is good. And talk about the touch, there's a fingerprint scanner that you get over here, and it's very responsive and very fast. Phone unlocks real quick. The scanner button is also your home button and back button. Tap on it once to go back and long press to go to the home menu. You'll get used to it. And you'll have to spend more time on Meizu's Fly Me UI on top of Android Lollipop. There's no app drawer, no quick access to setting, and no multitask. You have to do a slow swipe from bottom to top. Another confusing bit is the setting. It is iOS inspired, and you will have to spend a little time to get the hang of things. Coming to the performance, with the MediaTek X10 Helio processor and 3 GB of RAM, we were really impressed with the performance. With your regular usage like surfing the web, opening apps, making those calls, and also watching videos, we faced no stutters, no lags whatsoever. In fact, if you go by pure synthetic benchmark score, this phone has been amongst the top 3. So multitasking is also very smooth. It's like butter on a hot pan. You know what I mean? Smooth. Gaming was a delight. We witnessed no lags. The 20 megapixel Sony sensor at the rear does a fantastic job.
Daylight images come out really well with good contrast, natural colors and good details. Also, there are plenty of modes to try out from. There's also a dual tone LED flash that comes really handy for clicking low light images. The front 5 megapixel camera does a good job with those selfies. So with all this, you have a 3150 mAh non-removable battery which will just about last you the day.
The Meizu MX5 is available in 16GB, 32GB and 64GB model. The memory cannot be expanded. So for the price of 19,999 rupees, what do you get? You get a great design, you get a fantastic performance, you get a very snappy camera and a decent battery life. The competition is still the same. You have the Mi 4, you have the OnePlus One and also the new Moto X. Now I'll say be adventurous in life. Buy this phone because right now it does really well, and if you buy the phone, please let us know how it performs after 3 months. Alright, time to slip into a short break because I have to go see my colleague Rohit. He's really depressed because apparently he had gone with his parents to watch Prem Ratan Dhan Payo. I better go check him out.
Chinese smartphone makers have been launching products in India dime a dozen, and here we go again because a new company called Chiku, yes, not the fruit but pronounced Chiku, spelled Q-I-K-U, has launched a phone called the Q Terra 808. Again, this phone is in the mold of the OnePlus 2, which basically means high-end specs for less than rupees 30,000. We guys will be soon reviewing this phone, but in the meanwhile, we're going to take a quick look at this device. The main hallmark of this phone is design. It's got this full metal frame and impressively it has got the highest body to screen ratio, which basically means this phone has a high resolution 6-inch screen and you won't even realize it. And even in terms of design, it looks really plush and it'll remind you of the original HTC One M7. On the back, as you can see, you have got dual cameras. You've got a 13 megapixel camera out here with a f1.8 aperture. You also get a fingerprint scanner for good measure. Also on the front, you get a 8 megapixel camera. Inside, this phone is powered by a high-end 6-core Qualcomm processor, which is really good. It's a screamer. It's coupled with 3 GB of RAM and the phone comes preloaded with 16 GB of memory. It also gets a massive 3600 mAh battery with support for fast charging, which means basically this phone will give you all the features that one can desire of a high-end Android phone. The interface is also modeled like what you find on many Chinese phones, which basically means it's similar to iOS, so it's pretty simple to use and overall we really like it.
Now, driving in Delhi's traffic is a nightmare, man. It's like you hardly drive, You feel that you can walk home or office earlier. I could cycle also, but I don't want to end up dead on these Delhi roads. Here is Shivan. He's found this really cool electric cycle and he says that it's pretty awesome. Let's find out.
Cycling trends are spreading all over our country and it's about time we take a look at the next generation of bikes which have finally made their way into India. I'm Shivan Channa and today we're going to go electric with our bike ride and figure out what the Go Cycle is all about. Go Cycle is essentially an electric bicycle. It has a super clean look, which is also one of its most appealing features. The Go Cycle can easily be called the next gen of bikes as it offers predictive gear shifting. It automatically shifts gears for you depending on how fast or slow you are going. There is no cable or wire exposure and the chains and wires are fully enclosed within a clean and sleekly molded magnesium body. This is a lot of fun. The electric motor is powered by a rechargeable lithium battery which is perfectly housed and concealed within the main frame of the bike. The battery plugs into the back of the main frame. On an average, the Go Cycle takes approximately 5.5 hours to fully charge and can cover up to 60 kilometers. It offers an integrated dashboard display providing information of your speed, gear selection and battery status. The Go Cycle has 3 modes: City, Eco and Custom, which allow you to determine just how much you want to pedal and the amount of throttle you want. It can attain a maximum speed of 30 km an hour, but once the charge runs out, it goes back to being a regular bike with no gears at all. It is surely an unusual bike, and it comes with an exceptional price tag as well. The Go Cycle will cost you upwards of 4 lakh rupees.
Time to see what's making news in the world of technology. It's time for some tech news.
Huawei's online-only sub-brand Honor on Friday launched its first fitness wearable device called the Z1 Band in India. It's priced at 5,499 rupees. Honor Band Z1 has a circular design with brushed metal bezel around the corners and display at the center. The band is keyless and can track your activity. Combined with MyFitnessPal app, Band offers effective activity, step and sleep tracking mechanism for users who are always on the move. OnePlus is offering its customer refund after Google engineer Benson Leung tested its USB Type-C cable. Benson noted that the cable may cause damage to devices from other manufacturers since it draws too much power. However, according to OnePlus, the cable is perfectly safe to use with OnePlus 2. The refund applies only to those who bought the accessories separately. Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates is set to reveal a massive clean energy project on Monday, with the first day of the United Nations Climate Change Summit in Paris. The French government has confirmed that the ex-CEO turned philanthropist will launch the Clean Tech Initiative, a push to commit countries to double their budget on clean energy technology research and development by 2020. Less than a month after kicking off the Cortana for iPhone beta signups, Microsoft has started rolling out the app to people who showed interest in testing it. The early build is being distributed through Test Flight, a developer-focused service that lets iOS users try applications before their public release.
Alright, with that, it's a wrap. We hope you enjoyed watching the episode. We'll be back next week with more of Gadgets and Gizmos.
Oh,